All right, guys, I'm here with BBJ practitioner, holistic health advocate, conspiracy theorist, and host of Rat Talk, Alexander Skold, and also one of my teachers.
What's up, guys? So good to be here.
I thought he'd mix it up, man. We can talk some conspiracy. I feel like a lot of the politics shit's going on, and sometimes I've been getting away from the conspiracy stuff. And I know some subscribers just probably bounce now because they're like, conspiracy, oh my God, you know?
Listen, I'm such a big fan of Truth or Talk and what you're doing. It's an honor to be on. I feel like Christine's paving the way for a lot of us in a lot of ways.
Oh, I appreciate that, but anyway,
and it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, like when you started coming to class, like we didn't know what you were all about and stuff, and then I kind of heard.
I was quiet.
And then I heard from through the grapevine that you were into all this craziness that I'm into. So
well, you know what the thing is? I don't know what the hell is going on. Let me see. Sorry. I'm just be like never. Let me see. There we go.
Nunca mostrar.
I think we're still recording,
No worries.
So I just want to make sure
keep it rolling.
What do you call it? The screen kept changing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I didn't tell anybody because I had actually had a few instances before where I was open about that, and people just fucking like freaked out and just like they weren't as nice to me. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna learn jujitsu. I'm not gonna tell anybody. I'm just gonna, be here. And then like somebody found out. Priscilla found out.
Yeah.
Priscilla found out because I guess she was watching Aaron and Aaron and Melissa. I can't Truth Stream Media.
Oh, she found you looking through YouTube and stuff.
She found me because she was watching a video, and you know how it goes to the next video sometimes?
It was recommended.
Oh! And then I popped up, and she's like, wait a minute. And I got this text, and I was like, and my phone was erasing my numbers at the time. I was like, who is this? And she was like, hey, YouTuber. And I was like, what? I was like, oh my God, like, what's going on? I was kind of freaking out.
Oh no, she found me.
Yeah, and then she was like, oh, and then I was like, oh shit, like, what does this mean? And then, the next day I go, and Curtis, he's like the teacher, the head the sensei, I guess the head studio, he comes up to me and he's like, hey. And I was like, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
So anyway, end of the story, it was fine. They were all cool with it. So
yeah.
So now we can talk conspiracy.
Yeah, but for context, 10th Planet, I wore the shirt today.
Can you see?
United Nations Flat Earth flag is the gym we train at, and Eddie Bravo, the main the guy who created the lineage of schools, is a huge conspiracy theorist. And obviously you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist. You can just go in and get a workout, do jiu-jitsu. But it just kind of, I feel like it tends to, like-minded people tend to.
And I didn't even know that. Can I say that?
Yeah.
I didn't even know the history behind 10th Planet. I just went because I was seeing this guy at the time, and I was like, yeah, I just want to learn a martial art. I seen a couple guys, and they were studying martial arts, and it just kept coming into my space, and I was like, God, if I'm going to go down this route, it is kind of dangerous that I do need to learn how to protect myself. So I was like, well, I know I'm not a big person, so I need a martial art. And I've seen this guy at the time, and he was like, and then another of my friends practices martial, he's in Georgia. He does jiu-jitsu. And he told me a little bit about it, and he was like, go to Gracie. And I was like, I didn't really like the Gracie studio here. I mean, I shouldn't talk smack about it, but I wasn't really impressed.
It's lame. Get with the times,
people.
Gay.
Yeah, it was kind of gay. And
I love
like the bad gay.
That's so funny.
The bad gay though, not the good gay. Not the not rainbow gay, but the gay, like bad, just gay. Just it was like I felt like they were playing.
Just like PG to PG.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't feel like I'm gonna leave here and I have to get a gi. I was like, what? I have to get a gi? I have to spend $200 on a gi.
Yeah.
Like I was pissed. I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling this. So I was like, okay, let me go to I went to John's gym, and that was fine too. But I was just like,
oh, you went up there to Temple up north?
Yeah, I went up to John's gym and I checked them out, and I actually liked them better.
Yeah, for sure.
Than Gracie, but Tin Plant was the last one, and I was just like, and I didn't even know at the time that about the whole conspiracy thing, and I was just like, I don't know, I like the vibe. I like the attitude. I'm like, I feel like these people can fuck somebody up. I want to learn how to fuck somebody up.
Yeah, and I feel like there are good and bad schools and all like areas. You just kind of have to like feel out the leadership and stuff. But I like what you said about like learning jiu-jitsu. Like if I can like learn jiu-jitsu, if I can become like that blue belt level or something, I can do anything, I could, learn this program, Adobe Pro or whatever.
Yes, it's true. I feel like it's the hardest thing. Like I know like 2 languages. I fucking know instruments, and I'm like, jiu-jitsu is fucking hard. Like, it's hard. And I think one of the things that really makes it hard is you really have to try stuff out and learn on other people.
Right.
Because I feel like you can learn languages. To a certain point, you can learn languages on your own. You also stop to practice with people. But music, you can learn how to play an instrument by yourself. There's a lot of alone time you can spend with that. With jiu-jitsu, and you have to get over a lot of embarrassment. You have to be humble. If you get your ass, like I'm like one of the worst ones right now because I'm a beginner. I'm getting my ass kicked constantly, and I'm not. She's
doing great.
I know. If there's a new girl the other day, I'm like, yes, I'm not the worst one. But it's just like it's so like I have had to suck up my ego. Mm-hmm. And I remember like I think it was a couple weeks ago you were talking about like how you used to go to this gym. And you used to get your ass kicked all the time. And I'm just like, I can't really imagine that. But I guess there was a time, you know what I mean? Because you're a beginner too. But it just seems like once you get to a certain level and you have a flow and you understand all this terminology, you're like, oh yeah, like you used to get choked out a lot. And Curtis used to get choked off a lot.
Still do all the time.
Don't tell me right now. But I'm just saying, like, it just seems, when you're kind of working with the totem pole,
For sure.
You're just like, oh yeah, like you forget that. So I think it was good that you reminded us of that. That it's still a struggle, even when you go up. There's still it's always a challenge, and I like that. I like that the fact that I have something to constantly challenge me, and I see people of all ages still training, and it's still like because it's a really good mental workout, not only a physical workout too, and. The thing about fighters, I realized too, is that fighters, they don't want to really fight. They don't want to fight, like, they don't want to beat people up. They want to fight against somebody of their own caliber so they can test themselves and become better. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a healthy competition kind of thing, right?
Right.
We're not like, I think the stereotype of fighters is just like looking for trouble, going out, be like, like they just think, and are just like, or I thought the thing that surprised me the most, I fell for some stereotypes.
It's a nerdy thing. It's a gamer type thing when you really get into it.
Yeah, it is. But you know what the thing that I really kind of fell for too? That I thought that fighters were just super serious.
Yeah.
I was like, because when I went there, like, I was just like, very attentive, just really quiet, just like, okay, I'm going to focus.
Kill.
Yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, totally. And I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna, and then I didn't know what you were saying, like the terminology. Like there were just a few times that I walked in there.
I love the terminology.
I didn't know what you were saying, but you were you were like, all right, okay, now double underhooks, electric hooks, Nancy Kerrigan, like strip out. Now strip out. I was like, what the fuck are they saying? What are vapor? I'm like, oh my god, I don't even know. Like, are they speaking another language?
Go to crackhead control, Big Christine. Go to crackhead control. What are you doing?
But pimp arm. I was like, oh my god, I don't think I have pimp arms. Like, what are you doing? And I just be like, I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I guess it gets better. So this is it's great. It's So going back, we were bullshitting a little bit. So why did you start doing BBJ?
So I actually didn't start until after college. I was.
You went to college?
I went to college.
What was your major?
I studied accounting. I got an accounting business degree. Just kind of came naturally to me. But I think I was looking for something to kind of take the edge off, something athletic that I can, stay in shape, like keep working towards. Because that's kind of what I was all about growing up, like ball sports and things like that. Got sucked into that whole athletic, which I love sports. I love being active, but jiu-jitsu is just it was just something I heard about it on podcasts and then tried it out.
Was it like Joe Rogan podcast?
Unfortunately. One good thing Joe Rogan's done for my life got me into jiu-jitsu.
Hey, you got it. Yeah, it's fine. Did you do what other sports did you do, and you feel like that contributed to?
Basketball, I would say, was my sport, and I think like the footwork and like hip shifts, like is in base balance is like really important for martial arts, and so I think a lot of different sports and things can apply, but it's still, even with all that athletic background, and it's hard to mess with, those child prodigy type characters, who grow up, doing the activity like at a very young age. They're learning jiu-jitsu moves like Jacob Harris. It's hard to, it's just different,
Well, let me say, I want to add to the child prodigy thing.
Yeah.
I guess you can say that there are people that have certain knacks and certain gifts or certain things, but also when you're younger, you have more time and energy just to devote to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, or if you have a passion for it and if you have that support, then it also adds to the prodigy, I think, phenomenon. Because one of my friends that we were talking about, like Mozart, and he was supposedly this child prodigy, but his father was also a music teacher, and he had the resources, and he had the time, and he had the passion, and I think all of that contributed to his prodigyness, right?
For sure.
Prodigy. And I was looking at this, there's this ballet dancer named Misty Copeland. Have you heard of her?
I think I've heard of her.
She's a phenomenon because she started when she was like 13, and most ballet dancers start at like 4. Female ballet dancers.
She started when she was 13.
She was 13,
Cool.
right? And she's like a principal at, I think, ABT. Don't quote me, I don't remember. It's a ballet company that's basically hard to get into.
Yeah.
And they were like, why, she was talking on an interview about like why it's hard to or why she thinks, she's excelled and stuff. She's like, I think also a lot of people start really young and they get burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
By the time they're my age, and it's like maybe they're not as passionate.
They don't have the same, yeah.
Or even physically, right? Even if you're starting when you're 4, you're still beating your body up.
For sure.
Right? So if you're not, maybe you've been kind of going light on your body, but then you really start working your body later in life.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not going to burn out as fast. You know what I mean? It's just really interesting. And then I was watching another. I like
That's
ballet.
a good point. That's a good point.
And I was watching another documentary on a ballerina. And same thing, she now because I think in Misty Copeland, other people are having the idea that, maybe I can do this late and be good at it, right? So there's another ballerina. Misty Copeland's black, but this girl's white. She's white. I'm just saying, anyway, she's a ballerina, and she was, same thing. She started late, and now she got into like Harvard and then another ballet company, which is really hard to get into. Mm-hmm. And she was just like, I'm 14 and I'd be like, with the 11-year-olds, and I'd just be, when I first started out, she goes, I would go home every day and cry. And I felt like I was so much, they was just so much better than me, and there was no way that I can beat them. But it feels, her determination and hard work pays off, because now she's surpassed it, because she was just really determined to be good. And I remember reading in the comment section, and because I think the title of the video was like Child Prodigy Ballerina, and then the first comment at the top was like, I don't really buy the whole prodigy thing anymore. I think there is something to be said for like hard work and self-determination that really can make a person grow and become what they want to be. I'm paraphrasing, but I was like, yeah. So the older I get, the more I think about that too, because I think that there's some people, and Jay he's really good. Like, I'm not knocking him at all. But I also think, one of the things about starting something when you're younger, you have time, right? A lot of people, they get started later in life. They have to work. They have kids. They don't have the time and energy to devote. I feel like I'm frustrated with myself right now because I'm an overachiever, as most people are. Which I like to. I feel like I'm around a lot of overachievers, but I don't have the time to roll as much. I've been using, okay, I'm trying to come every 5 days a week during lunchtime. That's all I can devote
That's
right
awesome.
now. But I would like to come, like, if I could, I'd be like, they're 10 hours a day. I'm like type A. I'm like, 10 hours a day. I'll be really fun. You know, like, I'm doing yoga, you know, but I just have to be honest with myself. Okay, I can't do that because I'm doing other things as well, too. And how much energy you're going to devote to one thing? Is it like Michael? What's a guy that's like a shark? Michael Phelps. He spends 6 hours a day swimming.
That's
you know,
crazy.
in the pool. Like he works out first, and then just before that for like a couple hours, and then he goes to the pool for like 6 hours.
That's crazy.
So anyway, I'm sorry we got on this tangent about prodigies.
No,
I just want people to think about that because also, as language teachers, they say, "Oh, it's it's impossible to learn a language. It's hard to learn a language when you're older," and that's bullshit. And what I found is, when you're a child too, you don't have those barriers. You don't have your baggage.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point because I've seen that for sure. Like growing up in youth sports, like kids getting burned out, because they have a parent who's like pushing them too hard and like always wants them to be like the best player on the team. It's
or
like,
they just don't want to do it.
Exactly. But if you don't have that why, like that's not gonna sustain you. So.
I mean, yeah, even if your parent pushes you and stuff.
There is something to be said for like kids' brains. When they're that young, kids can learn languages like
because they're not afraid. They're not afraid. Because now when we're learning about neuroplasticity and stuff, I believe you can learn a language when you're 80, whatever. You just have to put the time in. It's the way you learn. But kids are not afraid to ask questions and mess up.
And make mistakes. Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Because adults are very like. It's really humbling for me as an adult to go in there and just be like, all right, I'm going to get choked out.
Right.
When I first started not want to tap, and now I tap. I was like, no, I'm going to fucking die in this motherfucker. I'm not going to tap. I was like, all right,
you got it.
And then I realized that I'm beat up because I didn't tap as soon as I could have, you know what I mean? So I need to recover. I'm like, right, I'll just tap when I know I'm about to get there so I can train more,
For sure.
But it's humbling to be able to, and it's also, like, when I went to the competition a few weeks ago, too, like I'm an artist and I sing and stuff and I perform in front of people, but it's like, fighters, you can get, and you're very vulnerable, right? Like your soul's very vulnerable too. But I'm like, when you're a singer or an artist, but I'm like, fighters, your soul's vulnerable and your fucking body's broke. Like you can get your soul broke and your body broke at the same time. I was just like, you know what I mean? Like I understand the performance aspect of being in front of people and having to show your skill off. But the fact that not only, like, because I'm not going to get my ass beat as a singer.
Your ego's on the line, your body's on the line.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like.
That's true, yeah.
I've seen you win some and I've seen you lose some. I want to ask you, how do you deal with that? When you win and when you lose. Like,
I never imagined myself getting to a point where I'd be, like, competing as regularly as I am now these past few years, and I feel like Curtis has a lot to do with that, really like pushing our team to be like recognized as like the top in the area, and that takes like competing regularly, and I think it's just like you gotta, I don't know, it's tough, but I think the more you do it, it's like you realize like usually it's like the outcome you deserve. Like if I'm feeling really good and I have like my body's feeling good, I have a good week training, like I've done the best that I can, then I should be in a headspace like fuck it, like let's just go out there, see what happens. But yeah, it's still dirty, but that's what I love it. That's.
When you win, do you feel bad for the other person sometimes? Even though, like, have you ever like competed against people that you know?
Yeah. Like
your friends?
Yeah. I almost would rather compete against a no-name because like I would then like a friend, like someone who's on our team or something who I know that I'm better than, because that would be embarrassing to me if I like somehow get caught against like a lower ranked belt or something like that. That honestly scares me more than like losing to a no name guy. I don't know.
So losing somebody that you know. How about somebody that's equal skill level?
Yeah, I mean, a few weeks ago, I had my first like big stage. You know, I've been competing in amateur tournaments, like whatever Naga or whatever amateur tournament. I've been doing like really well around the local scene here, and so a few weeks ago was my first like it's not really a pro debut, but like a big stage. Like a ballroom downtown, lights and everything, and it was against like another top brown belt in Austin. Shout out Justin Rennick, good guy. And so like I knew who he was. Like I've trained against him before, and so it was a really good matchup for me. And so we had a good match. I lost on decision. I kind of gassed myself out, and
I was videotaping. I was like, "That's some bullshit." I was so mad. I think I was madder than you were. Sorry. I think I was more pissed than you were.
No, but it's like every time like. About competing, like it's a psychedelic experience, like going into it. And I know I kind of have new views on the whole psychedelic community now, but the fact that like there's a big like I say it that way because there's like a big like build up, right? There's like you have the jitters, like butterfly, what's gonna happen, like, and but it ends up being usually a big learning experience, like you learn a lot about yourself, what you need to work on, that sort of thing. And so I think, because I think psychedelic experiences can go both ways. So I'm kind of like taking back that metaphor right now. But I think I have had psychedelic experiences where it was similar to that, in that it was you learn a lot about yourself, which is. Self-discovery seems to be like a big theme of what we're doing here. Know thyself. So there's that.
Do you get pissed? Like I know I'm a good sport, but I feel like there would be part of me that was like, I want to just throw some chairs if I lose. Like give me some plates and some fucking chairs, and I'd just be like, fuck it, you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
You have to be a good sport, and I've seen you be a good sport, and I've seen other people be good sports,
Yeah, that's what it's
like. And that's really inspiring to me because, Yeah,
that's what it's all about because, just doing your best, trying to stay as healthy as you can and maintaining. Because I want to be competing in like masters divisions when I'm like 60 years old. I think that'd be cool to be doing that. So that's what it's all about. Getting out there, showing like actually good, exciting jiu-jitsu, and because I feel like a lot of people with their jiu-jitsu, at least who try to start competing and stuff or anything, it's like, things aren't going my way. Like this isn't my thing. Like what am I doing? I'm embarrassed myself. Like it's like no, why you got into this sport is because you're into it. You really like it, and so it's like. You shouldn't be result oriented. You should do it because this makes you better, and for the love of the game, for the love of the game.
And I like the fact that teachers compete. It's just this whole experience so far, I've been comparing it because it is martial arts, but I've been comparing it to the arts because that's what I know, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see my teachers compete too because really you don't really see I'm like in college or whatever, I don't really see my acting teachers perform. I was like a music and theater major.
Yeah.
So I would have one teacher. I saw one of my teachers do a monologue one time out of the whole 5 years I was in college, and that was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Because he's teaching acting all the time, but you've never seen him perform, right? And he was good. And then I had this one piano teacher that she would perform her. She was good too, but. It was crazy because she would always like freak out before she had a performance and cancel class. She'd be like, I can't do it today. I have to cancel. And we're like, all right, okay, I'll see you next week. I'll see you after the performance. And there's also like this kind of etiquette when the arts where you don't approach the performer until after the performance. So when I went to the fight in Houston, I saw Curtis and Priscilla. And Priscilla like waved at me, And I saw Curtis, and I was like, do I go up to this?
Right.
Like, there was a part of me, I was like, oh, am I supposed to? Because, you know, like, I guess the artists believe, or the thing is, like, you can get into somebody's head.
Yeah.
You want them to keep their focus and their, you know, their composure and stuff. And then when the performance is over, you can approach them and talk to them about it and stuff like that. But it was cool and just kind of surprising that I was allowed to, like, go and be like, what's up? And, like, talk to you guys before. I'm like, I can do that. I'm allowed to do that. It's just a fascinating comparison for me. I don't know.
For sure.
Did you ever study any other martial arts?
No.
Is this the first one?
I'm just jiu-jitsu because, you know, getting into it later in life, like, I feel like I just want, and I love jiu-jitsu. I just want to get really good at jiu-jitsu. I do want to get proficient in, like, Muay Thai, like boxing, stand-up, you know, just to have.
I've thought about that too.
I ain't trying to, like, get in any cage fights or anything.
But you know what? It seems like it's easier to do Muay Thai than jiu-jitsu. I feel like jiu-jitsu is, like, kind of like never ending. It's like chess. Right? I'm not big in Muay Thai.
Well, Joe Rogan always says, this is Joe, I don't know why I keep bringing up Joe Rogan. But
quote Joe Rogan on my show. No, I'm just kidding.
I've had too much Joe Rogan brainwashing. I'm trying to undo it, y'all. But he, like, with a street fight, like boxing, like, you know, you're hitting each other, like the more unskilled person has a puncher's chance. You know, you could always get lucky and, like, you know, hit like a wild punch. But in, like, a jiu-jitsu match, it's like the better person always wins. Totally. Always wins.
Yeah,
so.
The one I'm watching.
There's that.
I'm getting into the Gracie family. I'm watching all those videos. I just watched the Eddie Bravo and where the Gracie fight.
Yeah.
Good. That was so touching. Man. Like, I cried a little bit.
It's amazing.
He was like, you can't believe I won. I was like, you can't believe you won either. Shit.
And you know, after, so there's, like, a big Gracie magazine. You know, after that, the Gracie magazine comes out with, like, only the pictures where Gracie was on top. And, like they're like, oh yeah, it was a good match, you know, like, you know, our Gracie guy, you know, had dominant position most of the time. When you, like, watch the match, like, no, Eddie's, like, sweeping him left and right, like, going on.
You know, it's interesting because I don't know. I'm just getting into this. So there's more for me to watch, and I didn't even know until a few weeks ago when I started watching this, like, how special 10th Planet was.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a part of, like, at the school. Like,
you're part of it.
No, but I'm just saying, I didn't even know. Like, I didn't attend 10th Planet knowing this.
So
history.
you didn't know about the whole background with it?
No, I just found this out, like, 2 weeks ago.
Oh my God. You more than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. No, because I watched the fight and I didn't know that he won.
Okay.
Like, I heard about the fight, I didn't know, and then I didn't know.
Yeah.
I know he started the school after, and then I saw, like, but he started after he won. And that was a thing, and his friend bought him the mats and everything, and, like, I didn't know. You heard
about that.
Yeah, and I didn't know, like, I didn't know the whole history of the Gracie family and all that stuff too. So it's now jiu-jitsu, like, so great. Was it not Hickson? Hoyler? No, who's the grandfather?
Helion
Gracie.
Helion.
Okay, the grandfather Gracie. He basically took jiu-jitsu from judo and he's basically invented modern day jiu-jitsu.
Right.
And now his sons and his grandsons and, like, all his family, they're all famous for doing jiu-jitsu.
Right.
So Eddie Bravo comes in, has a match with one of the sons.
Hoist was, like, one of the most, during that time, he was, like, one of the most, like, decorated competitors, like, one of the, like, most consistent, like, you know, championships, and then Eddie comes in, and, you know, and it's not like Eddie was, like, it's not like he's, like, the greatest jiu-jitsu guy ever.
Yeah, and he was really humble. Like, he's just like, oh, this is cool. Like, I liked his attitude. He was like, this is cool. I'm really honored. I'm going to fight this dude. He didn't think he was going to win.
Right.
But he goes, I've gotten good enough at jiu-jitsu to be at this level. I can say that at least I fought a match against this guy. He ends up fucking winning.
Yeah.
And he's, like, crying. And he was like, I can't believe I won. And of course, the Gracie's family's ego was insulted because
sure.
he like won. But I've seen some podcasts since, and then after that, Eddie started 10th Planet,
right?
And he took away the gi,
right.
which is like the karate kind of suit, and a lot of people were offended that he took the gi away. But I mean, he's like, but I'm trying to make jiu-jitsu better for MMA because and you know, he's just trying to evolve jiu-jitsu. I don't feel like, but anyway, I've seen a few podcasts where like Eddie has talked to Hickson and some other people. I guess some of them are cool with him.
Yeah.
Or is he just
no? Well, the Gracie family is crazy as it is. Like the Gracie family is like, you know, like any other family, it's like super divided. And like you have Crone Gracie, who's like the son of Hickson Gracie. Like Hickson Gracie is considered like the GOAT, the best ever. And then Crone Gracie is like is like supposed to be like the next you know, champion guy, and he's this like flat earther conspiracy dude.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, and so like
they're Brazilian, right? So he's cool.
He's cool as shit. Yeah. And then you have other like shady Gracies like who are all like stuffed up, you know, like if you don't like bow to Helion and like say your 10 Gracie commandments and like wear a gi, then like you're not doing real jiu-jitsu and you are shaming martial arts everywhere.
Oh, those people need to get laid. Like, what's
no.
Okay.
I'm just saying there's like division in the family. You know,
yeah, but so
like
some are cool with Eddie and some aren't. Basically, some are like still insulted by him, and then some are like, all right, you know, you're doing your thing. I see it, you know. So yeah, I saw a video where he was talking to Hicks and Gracie and showing him the rubber guard.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny. It was like in a good way. He's showing him like the rubber
Hicks
guard.
is like, okay, you know, he's like, oh, Eddie's like so pumped, like this is my one chance, like, he's gonna be amazed, you know, and
and like Eddie seems like he's a really, really humble guy, and I've even seen some of his teaching sessions. He seems like he's a fun teacher, a cool teacher. Have you taken any workshops with him?
Yeah, no, I've trained out in California with Eddie a few weeks, and I think he's the real deal. You know, like you know, kind of hanging out with him a little personally. Like he practiced what he preaches. He's all about jiu-jitsu constantly, like Curtis, just like a jiu-jitsu zombie, like always like talking different moves, always like looking at, you know, like different techniques on the computer. And music, and he has like a little band that he does, and the conspiracies. He goes on, and you know, from what I've heard from him, I feel like he's one of the guys out there who's like really shooting it, like saying at least not saying that everything he says is like, you know, factual on point. I feel like he believes what he's saying. He
preaches.
Yeah, and so
he's authentic.
Yeah, exactly, and so that's kind of what's really attracted me to the whole 10th Planet too. Is that
Did you start in Austin or Nebraska or Colorado?
So I went to in Omaha, Nebraska. I lived there for a part of my life, and so that's where I went to my first jiu-jitsu class. And so there's a school. I first started at a gi school and then found 10th Planet out there.
And then you were like, fuck this dude.
Yeah, and then that's where I got my ass kicked for a while. 10th Planet.
Is this the one you said you were trying not to get ringworms at?
Oh. No.
Sorry, I didn't mean to out you. Like,
no.
All right.
No, that 10th Planet Omaha is an awesome school, but there are a lot of shady gyms around the country, and use proper hygiene, children.
Tea tree oil, dude.
Tea tree oil, yo.
Get that fungus out. Yeah.
Yeah. But,
and then you started 10th Planet in Austin.
Yeah.
The Austin 10th Planet.
But just for the record, I support. I support as far as like gi, no gi. I like wearing gi pants. I'm a fan of wearing gi pants. You know, I think that's comfortable for me. Yeah, grab the gi pants all you want. I'm just at a place, at least for the time being. I don't need to wear the whole pajama tops. I think it's.
If I ever get a gi, I'm gonna get a black gi. I want a black gi. It's gonna be tight. I mean, I think I just start to figure out what's going on. I feel like when I'm in class now, the conversation has slowed down enough. Like the language like you speak Spanish too, right?
Yeah.
So you know when you first speaking Spanish, everything sounds like gibberish. It's like, and then once you learn the words, it like slows down.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like now. I'm at the point. I'm not fluent at all, but I feel like, okay, the conversation has slowed down. I know when you say certain things now, I understand what it means. So
that's good.
Now I'm like, I don't know. Fuck, why did I bring that up? I was gonna make a point and I forgot.
Yeah, because that's what it is. Like jiu-jitsu is a language thing. So I feel like every sport you can say it's a language, but with 10th Planet, like Eddie systematized it in a way that you can with like each little position. Like it for me, it helps. It helps with the details. It's like, okay, I'm in my quarter guard position, my quarter shell position. Where should this hand be? It's like a basic framework off of what to go off of. And so I feel like that helps facilitate learning if you're able to, you know.
The terminology and stuff like that. Yeah, because I was just at the point too, like I just didn't know. And then I was afraid, like we'd be rolling, I was like, oh, like, I don't know what this is, or they were like, do this. I'm like, I don't know, like I don't know.
Christine, get into New York. What are you doing? What's that like? Christine.
Like you know. When did you become red pill or woke?
Oh my gosh, this is a good question. I feel like I've always kind of had that skeptical nature about me. Because looking back, like how did I go?
Really? But did you
how
have
did
an
I go down
incident?
this pill where I just became totally distrusting? Yeah, I mean, there have been a bunch of incidents. I mean, I think okay. I mean, here's a good example. When I was in college, I went through kind of a little phase where I got into internet gambling for a little bit.
You can do that? I didn't even know.
Yeah, and so
like sports. Okay.
No. Yeah, like blackjack. This isn't even relevant. The gambling part, but anyway, that didn't go well, and so I was like, oh, I need a new way to make money, and so like I started getting in the stock market, and I really started like. I really want to get good at this. I really want to research stocks, research the economy, see what's going on here, and then you start to realize, we're $20 trillion in debt. Like our country just keeps on spiraling down in debt, and this dollar we're using, it's like this changes. Like the world reserve currency changes like every 50 years, and it's like why do people like just like get into like all that and so like and like I feel like everything is getting a little spiritual here, but it's kind of connected. Like once you realize
about that, that's fine.
Yeah, once you realize that, it's like how messed up the whole Federal Reserve. You had a bunch of like the top like 6 rich families like came together in this like one little room on Jekyll Island and created the Federal Reserve and like.
But how did you even get to that point? You see what I'm saying? Like this stuff, but so you start researching stocks. You found out about the debt. So basically, you found out like our government was lying to us, and you just started researching on your own, and you just start finding stuff and comparing it to what we've been told.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just take. I know I have like a certain like way I view the world, and I try my best to like take in new information and try not to be stuck in one place, because I want to like I like to be a person who's open-minded and like who's open to new information coming in if it's accurate, and
that's great. I remember Curtis saying that too, and I was just like, really? Because a lot of people, I mean, I believe you guys, I'm not saying, but to me that's still just really weird to just have that kind of like open mind to just being skeptical, because I wasn't like that. I definitely had experiences. I mean, I've talked about this channel before. I don't want to talk about myself, but I've had experiences that made me realize, just through the medical industry and also being a teacher, that we've been lied to about a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people that become woke too, a lot of them have shaken up experiences. They have a rude awakening, so to speak. That makes them that way. Makes them just stressful, because we've been brainwashed by the television, by authority figures to have a certain view of the world, and not a lot of people don't want to question that, especially, since the CIA has invented the term conspiracy theorist and now has made it a pejorative, for people that even questions common sense.
Yeah.
And when people do that, they don't want to be like the outcast, or they want to be like,
Yeah.
made fun of or thought of as crazy, and that's another way.
Yeah. And it's like, especially with things that affect your life, like health and, like money, things like that. It's like, I'm searching for truth. I want to know the best things to do. And, when searching for truth, you might find some hard truths that may be difficult to swallow at times.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Like, you got to rearrange your paradigm for a lot of things. A lot of stuff goes really deep. Have you found it hard to find other woke people, awakened people?
I think I'm in a like a situation. I don't know. Like, with the 10th planet in my career, I feel like I have that. People who wake up don't have the woke support system that I do necessarily.
Yeah.
But I feel like I have my family, but other people outside saying, you realize, you're like I'm in a, what's it called, echo chamber. You're in an echo chamber.
You think you're in a cult?
10th planet. Yeah.
Have they sat you down and done like an intervention or anything?
Yeah, and it's like I'm well aware of what sort of scenery I'm around. But you know what's crazy? After all this, like all the woke type research, like all the NASA lies, all the pedo gate, all the anti-vax, like all this like stuff that at the surface level seems like very like daunting and like oh my God, this is so scary that this is out there. But it's brought me back. It's brought me back to the Bible. It's brought me back to like what's important in life, and it's like good values, like what you value in your life, how you spend your time, like
your people, relationships, friends.
Yeah, and so
sure.
that's it. It comes in for me. Like a big thing is it comes down to you have to trust. You have to trust and appreciate the people in your life over the dollar bill, that Illuminati eye on the dollar bill. Like not saying you can't have both, not saying you can't have an abundance of both, but I think
that Illuminati.
Yeah. you have to tend to really like live to appreciate your people a little more than just like
Definitely.
chasing your own greed.
Well, for me too, I would say not only that, but it's also through this process I've lost a lot of friends or people that I thought were my friends. It made me realize who my friends were.
That's true. Yeah, I've been recently starting to go through that. It's like old people from your past. Well, it's just like you haven't heard from this person in months, years, and all of a sudden you're starting to get like little bitchy comments or like little snarky comments here and there. It's like I'm at a point where like, like fuck off, man. Like I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. If you want to like have a conversation with me, have a real conversation or debate, whatever. But like I don't have time for trolls.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the things that really shocked me, because I thought the people that I thought were my friends, I thought that they would trust me over like an authority figure. I thought they would at least ask me. Even I have some family members who I don't get along with, and I'm just like, wow, you're not gonna even ask me. You're gonna buy into all the stereotypes of what you think I am, instead of like asking me why I have the views I have or the experiences I have, and and even there's some people I have been able to tell that, but they're still just so, I think one of the biggest problems we have, and I've talked about this a lot, is the appeal to authority, right? And they want a newscaster or a doctor or a scientist or a politician or a lawyer or somebody with an elevated degree in society to tell them what to think. And they think that, when those people come out and tell them what to think, then that will be the truth, And that's enslavement in itself, I feel.
Yo, what was your homie's name who came to that Houston show?
Oh, Narciso,
yeah. Yes. So he said something really powerful to me that, and that might be you who said it, correct me if I'm wrong, but the revolution isn't going to happen in the media. Like, like
Probably, yeah, I think he said that.
we can't wait for like our ideas and truth and righteousness to happen on mainstream media, for Netflix, for like these CNN sources to come out with it. That they're never they're already bought and sold. Like we're like it like the like real truth is never going to be validated on those sources.
Yeah, it's not, you know, and I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of people that are still looking for that, especially since this election, and where it's been proven that the media has lied. And I think, even if you're not into politics, I think the good thing that's happened, because to me, this whole 2016 election is bigger than just Donald Trump. It's bigger than the president. It's like, it's an opportunity. It's been an opportunity for a lot of lies to be exposed, in which you see how we're lied to on a grand scale, and how the media can manipulate things, right? And now we have cameras, and we have the ability to upload stuff to the internet and show people another side of the story. But think about the days when we didn't have that, right? When all this equipment was super expensive, and you didn't have the outlet to put this stuff up and show people. They can just run people's reputations through the mud. Yeah. You know, and fix people and lie on them and frame people like left and right. Now they can kind of still do that, just because there's so many people that still have that addiction to authority. Yeah. But there are a lot of people too that know now that the media lies, and they know.
That's another thing too, is like it feels like almost everyone is becoming a conspiracy theorist, and they're on with this whole Epstein thing. It's like, either, I mean, I guess they've always been kind of sloppy, but it's like when you have like in your face sloppiness,
So what do you think? What do you think about that? What do you think? Because I've just been so busy. I knew that motherfucker didn't kill himself. I knew that was bullshit, right? I've just given.
Well, I see.
But do you think that he's still alive? Because I know I had some people in my comment section that think that he's in like witness protection. I mean, I'm open to that. I haven't gone deep or seen sources or anything that can. Is it an inkling? Is it a hunch? Like, what do you? Or do you think that he really is dead? Or I just don't see that. I don't see why they would keep him alive. He's more valuable dead, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think. I think it's a fun conversation, but like, it's just like, I don't know. It's just funny to me, like when they come out with the main story, like Epstein committed suicide, and then like slowly you start to find out, like the guards were asleep, and the cameras, they're broken. You know, we lost just like the moon landings. We lost the footage. We lost
like Princess Diana. The cameras, all the cameras in the tunnel just happened to malfunction.
And like you have like all these ex-inmates saying like, that's impossible to kill yourself in there. Like with those super thin bed sheets. Yeah, like, there's not guys to hang. It's like tall. It's like okay, like who's buying this story? First of all, not saying like he isn't dead or anything, but like who's not questioning this story? It's just like when Anthony Bourdain and like Kate Spade, and they had those a string of suicides all in a row from like a red handkerchief. Like all these celebrities who are trying to like out the Clintons and pedogate are mysteriously hung from hanging themselves with a red handkerchief on a doorkb. It's
or they shoot themselves in the head 2 times back.
Suicide.
Suicide. I killed myself. Yeah. Like what? How does that happen? Yeah. But there are people that are so addicted to authority, they'll just be like, no. Like they kind of like malfunction. You know,
that's it.
And they just like
that's it.
Okay, let me tell you this.
I'll
try to make this fast. I was somewhere and this guy comes up to me. I was at Narcisse had an art show. He was at art show. Yeah. And this guy, and I was like, I thought I knew him, and he comes up to me and he starts talking, and I was just like, he was trying to bullshit me about something, so already I was just like, yeah, whatever, dude, you're lying to me, I'm not into it. But then I was like, so who'd you vote for? Like, I go ugly early. I'm like, I tell people I'm an anti-vaxxer, and I'm not a Democrat, whatever. I will go ugly early. So I was like, so who'd you vote for? And he was black, right? So he was like, yeah, who do you think I voted for? Hillary Clinton, man. And I was like, yeah, I didn't vote for that bitch. And I was like, I was like, yeah, I kind of like Trump. And he was like, I swear to God, he was like, nah. He kept just saying cabinet. It's like, nah. and he started backing up.
Yeah.
And he started backing up. And I was like, what's up, man? Did you want to talk politics? Did you want to talk politics? He's like, nah. And the whole night. And for the first half of the night, he was following me around and coming up to me. So then the second half of the night, I was like stalking him. I'm like, hey, man. And I finally was like, hey, man, let's talk some politics. He's like, nah. Like, he couldn't, like, that's all he could say. And it's like, he was like twitching.
Yeah.
It was fun though, like, but it was like he was like he was malfunctioning, like he was like a robot.
I love that shit. I love that shit. And not to say Trump is like our savior or anything.
Totally. But
it's like
I said, I just look at it as a bigger thing. I don't believe in the savior person. I believe like I even try and tell people. You know, I want people to empower themselves because there's more of us than there are of them.
Yeah, like people like you are dangerous. Like an intelligent, well-spoken black woman who can like articulate truth and like different side. Like it's you're dangerous.
That's why I'm learning jujitsu. I was like, fuck, dude, I gotta learn some jujitsu. But I'm not like on the. Man, I don't really think I'm on the radar yet. So I don't, but I still. Plus, it's not just self-defense. It's given me so much more.
Yeah.
Than just being in shape, pushing my limits. The people I like going hanging out. I wish I could. I feel kind of antisocial a little bit just because I have a lot of other stuff going on. I can only really come for like an hour, then I have to bounce. So
yeah.
When you guys do other stuff, I try and hang out when I can, but I feel like I'm more social.
Yeah, I wish you could hang out more. I know. We could smoke some weed.
Hey, no,
talk some conspiracy.
I know. It's coming. By next year, I think I'll have more free time.
Yeah.
To do that.
Yo, I think your channel's blowing up. By the way, like with this new content that's coming out, these new videos and stuff.
Well, it blew up and it'll blow up and then it would like.
That's how it is though.
But then they're censoring people and stuff like that. So I'm trying to keep the YouTube channel going. I just don't know. I'm not putting my lot of faith in just the YouTube.
We gotta get you an official studio and like we gotta get you a few people working for you. I think.
I need a personal assistant.
Yeah. We'll make it happen somehow.
We're gonna do that. Let me ask you this. How does BBJ fit into the truth movement? BJJ.
This is a good question.
How does it fit on your journey?
I feel like in my life, why I've been so attracted to jiu-jitsu is that I feel like jiu-jitsu is something super real. Jiu-jitsu is truth. Like it's like when you put in work, when you take care of your body, it's like you see that result, and like you're tested against like people like who are stronger, better than you, and so it's like yourself is revealed to you, and like that's really why I've gotten into jiu-jitsu, because there's a lot of phoniness out in the world, not to say all like 9-to-5 jobs are bad or like all like people are worthless out there, but I'm just saying I talk to some people who work. A lot of people don't like their jobs though.
I think it's what you're trying to say is that a lot of people are miserable because they have those jobs, right?
Yeah.
Not that they're bad for having the job or going to the job, but they're miserable because of the structure of our society and how we have to fit into this.
Yeah, it's like this gets hard because I rub people the wrong way when I start to talk like this. It's just I think there's a lot of fluff in the economy. Like look how many people are in like I studied finance accounting in college, and you become aware of how many just kind of like office jobs there are. No, it's just like restructuring loans and like setting up office meetings. It's like how much am I really like how good am I doing for the world, like how and I think the biggest impact we have is like our interactions with people, and so
definitely,
and so I don't want to like shit on people's job or anything, but
I see what you're saying. There's just a lot of bullshit. Like Narciso has a shirt. This is fucking 9 to 5. He wears it all the time, and people always come up to him, and they're just like, "Yeah, man, I would drive when I drove for Lyft." No, you clown Lyft. It's okay. I'm alright.
Uber, because they don't treat their workers fairly. They need to treat their workers like human, like you have to. These corporations have to value the human life a little better than they are.
Yeah, it's true, but also I would say ride sharing helped me move to Austin. You know what I mean? And I've met a lot of really cool.
There's a positive.
I've met a lot of really cool people. I made friends. I've gotten jobs. I've done a lot of cool things via and met I know I've done videos where I've complained about people that got in my car during, especially around the midterms, because I would just get all these crazy liberals that would just come and unload on me and drive me fucking crazy, and they just thought because I was black and I was a woman that I sided with them. And a lot of the stories are funny, but I've never talked about like the crazy, amazing people that I've met too. Oh fuck, why did I bring up Lyft? I brought up Lyft, but I would say, because I drove a lot in the mornings, and I drove a lot, most of the people that I drove, they hated their job. I've literally...
You would, like, see people, like,
going... I had this one girl, she was bawling, because she was crying, because she didn't want to go to work.
Oh, my God.
She was like, I have to go to work. I don't want to go. I was like, are you hungover? She's like, no, I just hate my job. I just hate it. But poor girl, she just... she was a mom, she had a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But most people don't like their jobs, so I don't really... If you get anybody that gets mad at you, it's because they probably hate their job and they're mad that you like saw through the facade. Honestly, because a lot of people don't like their jobs. A lot of people, they don't have passion in their life. They don't have fire in them, and it's a part of the system that we have been programmed into being. We're in the matrix and stuff.
Yeah.
We're still, So don't feel. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that, I think you're right. I think you're right, basically.
How do you feel? This is what I want to ask you. How do you get frustrated, like, as far as like people falling for these, like, 'cause once you look into all these liberal movements, like, do you get frustrated that people can't see past it, like? Like looking back to like we have this big museum of Lyndon B. Johnson, how he created the welfare state, right?
Yeah.
And like, and he's like a closet racist, like talking about how he's gonna like brainwash black people to like vote Democrat. Like, do you get frustrated like how well the propaganda works sometimes? Like,
yeah, of course, but I also have to remember that I was there. I fell for it at one time, and I also was a part of it, being a teacher.
Yeah.
So I try, when I have the patience, to have patience with people. And I also remember, too, I like to plant seeds. I remember I had this internship in college at a theater company, and I was hanging out with a guy there, and I was like 18, and he was probably like 20, and he actually tried to tell me all this shit that we're talking about now, but he had a lot of anger in him about it, and probably the anger was just a frustration, because I remember exactly, because I wanted to get a car, and I lived in San Francisco. Yeah. This would have been you probably, but I was like, having a car for me was a symbol of freedom. Because my parents are strict, I can do things I didn't have to. As a woman,
for sure,
you feel a little safer going and doing stuff at night if you have a car. I get your point about cars too, but this is, at the time I was just like, cars symbolize freedom to me, right?
Yo, yeah.
So I wanted a car, and I was happy that I just got this job, and I was just like, I just got this job. I'm so excited now. I'm gonna start saving up for a car. And he was like, what do you need a car for? He's like, cars are evil, like. They ride upon the dirt, the dead dirt. And he was walking down the street, and there was this pile of dirt. He's like, see this dirt? This dirt is dead. This is dead dirt. He fucking steps in the dirt, starts kicking the dirt. I was like, this dude's a fucking freak. I was like, I just want a car so I can, like, do shit. That's all I want. Like, I'm not trying to be, but he was interesting to me because he never graduated high school, and he was one of the first people that, like, kind of broke the... Because I come from a family of teachers.
Oh, really?
My grandmother was a teacher. My mom was a teacher's aide. My uncle was a teacher.
Cool.
My aunt was a teacher. One of my aunts taught the blind. Like, my uncle was a music teacher. Like, I just have a shit ton of teachers in my family. So education was always really important in my family, right? And so he was one of the first people I met that, like, didn't even graduate high school. And I think his mom homeschooled him, and he just moved around to travel a lot. He was super smart. And he was really interesting to me. And I was like, oh, well, I guess you can be smart and not go to college or not go to, like, you know, not finish later. But he would tell me a lot of the stuff. At the time, he was planting seeds in me. Now that I had a lot of experience, like, for these seeds to grow, now I'm like, I wish I can go back and tell him. It's like, dude, 20 years later, I wish I could be like, dude, I know what you're talking about now. I wish I could go back and tell him that, you know? If he ever, his name is Elton Cross. If he ever sees this, then, you know, I hope, you know, and, but you know, at the time I was just like, I don't know, like, I, you know, and then I got a seat here and I got a seat here, and then the whole thing with my friend's son getting, like, vaccine injured, that was, like, kind of like a rude awakening. And then it just spiraled from there. And I think it's interesting that because I say, let me see if I can draw it for the people to see, like, the center of the whole is truth. Let me see, right? Mm-hmm. This is bad, I don't know if you guys can see this. The center of the whole is truth. Right. I was trying to draw lines, but you have different entry points to the center right here, right? So maybe this is finance, right? Yours is finance. Mine was the medical industry and education. Right. Another person might be GMOs, right? Because once you start really going down the rabbit hole and start researching, you all run across the same fucking names: the Rockefellers, the Gates, the Carnegies, the DuPonts, the Rothschilds, all these motherfuckers, right? Why do they have their hand in so many areas of our lives that's controlling everything? You know,
for sure.
And yeah, I just so that's why I always like to ask, because I think people have different paths, like different entry points.
I feel like once you really, like, you know, understand, like, one of the bigger ones, like, you know, like the 9/11 or like the vaccines, like, once you really understand, like, how bad, how evil, like, this system can be, like, it's kind of like, I feel like all things are on the table. Like, okay, if I can believe this, then, like, what about this?
But you know what? It is interesting too, because some people they'll only go so far.
Right.
Like they'll go like maybe this like
yeah,
they'll go like, maybe they'll go up to they'll start. I'm trying to go. They'll start here, but then they'll only go like here.
Whoa! I don't want to go that far.
Shit!
Oh shit! Let me go back.
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm going back.
I'm too close to the light.
They take a blue pill for a steak. You know, like in the Matrix, right? Right, the opposite of the red. Have you seen the Matrix?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy was like, I know it's fake, but it still tastes good.
Yeah.
You know, like it tastes. You know, like I'm like, oh, you suck, dude. Like, come on.
But I feel like there is a time for a blue pill mentality, because I feel like I have been in phases where I've gotten, you know, I was recently a little too obsessed with pedogate, you know, after, you know, like, I kind of, like, I saw, like, a Disney exec be outed, and then Epstein came out. Obviously, I knew about pedogate before that, but it kind of, like, reinvigorated my research into it. And I feel like with a topic like that, it's like, yeah, I already know it exists. Like, I don't need to. I don't want to be the one to, like, spend my life going through that. But I guess that's not blue pill, you know.
Yeah, no. I even tell some of the people, you know, some of the subscribers that you got to take a break. That's why we're having this conversation now. I've been talking a lot about politics, and there's some people that, like, that's all they probably want to see me do. They just want to see me rail on liberals in politics, and I'm not doing that shit all the time. Like, I need a break. I need, you know, this is truth or talk. We talk about other stuff. And then there are people that get mad. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not forcing anybody to be here. The subscribe button is down there. It's right there. Just hit it. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason, too, why I haven't really sought funding or sought anybody. I'm trying to figure out a way to continue to do what I am on my own without without having to have anybody fund me, just because I want to tell people to fuck off if they don't like what I'm doing. And then if I did accept funding, I'd have to be like more diplomatic, but I don't like doing that. So, and like I said, I'm not forcing people to do that, but I just think it's much bigger than, you know, than politics and stuff.
I think you should have an option for people to, you know, tip you, donate like a PayPal.
I do. I have that. I just forget sometimes, and a lot of times I'm in my car.
I think you should throw that out every episode, because it's just like, you know, it's
send me money.
Yo, it's just money. Like, it's like you're tipping someone. It's like,
well, but you know, I think what I'm gonna do, I really want to sit down and I'm gonna be working with somebody within the next couple months to do this. I think what I'm gonna do is I want to set out like a plan and actually do like a fundraiser, like a GoFundMe or something like that.
That'd be cool.
And then be like, all right, like I'm gonna do more mini movies. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
I want to do more mini movies because I feel like I just have a lot of research behind me, and I'm a teacher, and I have that educational thing. So I feel like I can do that. Mm-hmm. And I like interviews. I love interviewing people. Like, it took me a while to actually do the videos in the car. My best friend who I started the channel with, she actually, if you scroll all the way down to like 2010, 2011, you see a few videos with the ginger. That's the other girl, my friend. And the ginger. We just say I'm the black one, she's the red one, right? Because sometimes people will write us. I'm like, hey, it's the black one. Hey, it's the brown one, or she'd be like, hey, it's the red one. You know what I mean? Because she's still active. She does a lot of research.
You guys could have come up with like a really creative name or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the brown one and the red one. Yeah,
black and red build.
Yeah. No, I think truth and tax were cool.
No, I love
like, but dude, I lost my train of thought again. We're talking about donations and stuff. So I think that's kind of what I want to do. So I know that I have a set amount of money and a set amount. I just really have to do like a financial plan and all that stuff. I have to do a business plan.
Yeah, I think you just keep going, and I'm gonna try to keep going too. But it's like we walk by like a street performer, you know, and you hear an amazing like guitarist on the street, like I'll tip him every time. It's like and that's like way more, you know. I feel like
you're buskers and stuff. Yeah, no, I get it. No, but I'm just saying, like, I want to make sure the people that are watching. We're just
street performers, y'all.
You can look at it that way, but also, I also want to make sure the people that are subscribed want to be subscribed. Like I always try to kind of throw out, like, you know, like I'll do something on the political climate, and people will come across my video and they'll be like, oh, that's cool, like I like what she has to say. And then I'll talk about vaccines, and like, fuck that bitch, like so I'm subscribing now. And then there's some people that are like, oh yeah, that's cool, like I don't really know about vaccines, but I'll listen to what she has to say because I like what she said about this. And then there are other people that are like, hell yeah, I'm anti-vax too, I like her even more, you know what I mean? So I want to make sure that I have, and I feel like I've done a pretty good job of cultivating and attracting really smart subscribers, because I'll get people that will send me stuff, that make really cool comments, that have really cool stories to tell too. Like I would like to be able to do this channel and make money off of it, so I can have time to do more mini movies, interviews, stuff like that. Yeah. But I also feel like I've gotten so much more than just financial, and I'm not even making money. I've made money for the last 2 months because they limit stuff. Like you have to make $100 to get paid out. I made like $94. I'm like $6 away
from YouTube. Or
from YouTube.
Oh
but I think people that, and once you get like 100,000 subscribers and you don't have limited videos, like if I did hair videos, oh my god, I wouldn't have to work, you know.
Hair videos?
Hair videos, like natural hair videos. Like, here's my afro, here are my twisty locks. No. I did stuff like, or cat videos or shit like that, you know, that aren't controversial, then of course, you know. No. But I also, so I want to operate, I don't want to be dependent on YouTube and to be dependent on tips and stuff, because I know the way things are going that somebody can just erase my channel, like at the flip of a hat. So I want to have more control, you know, over what I do. And also knowing that, okay, I raise this much amount of money, or this much amount, I can't even speak. I raise this amount of money. I can, take this few months off of work, and then I can just rail out this. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this until the next thing. And then maybe I can be another fundraiser, right? So people like me.
Listen, we're going to channel some abundance for you. Get that business going. It's just like...
You're an accountant. You should help me. You know math. You're good at math.
Listen, y'all, invest in precious metals, not the dollar. Once fiat currency collapses, like, what do we got? We got land. You got to have...
Seeds.
Yeah, you got to have seeds. You got to have...
Oil.
Guns. You got to have...
Guns and seeds and the only thing I have, I can
water.
Eat that. Water, or know how to filter water.
Yeah. That's why Nestle's buying up all those water rights across the country.
Have you ever seen this? Have you seen this movie called Tank Girl?
No.
You probably have not, because it's an old movie, but it's a movie. It came out, I think, in the 80s or probably like early 90s, and it's in the future, and the currency is water.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
And not oil, because and it's crazy because they have these little things, and they have these like things with spikes on it.
Yeah.
And they like stab people with it,
shit.
And it draws all the water out of their body.
Oh shit.
So if I got mad, I could just be like, you'd be like, oh my god, and then this water bottle would fill up, and then you could drink water.
Oh.
I'll have to show you a clip of it. It's crazy.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I can see something happen like that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's predictive programming.
Yeah, right? Like, oh my god. And I was like, I remember I saw it. It was like the most awful thing ever. I was a kid. I was like, oh my god, that's terrible. But anyway, so you have, we're going to start wrapping up, but you have a channel, Rat Talk.
Rat Talk.
Why did you name it Rat Talk, and what do you plan to do with it?
So it's actually, the name Rat Talk was actually, it's been in existence for a while. Like, me and my college friends kind of came up with it. And we weren't running a podcast. So it was just like kind of like an idea we threw out there at that point. But it stands for Rational Academic Talk. But it's also kind of like hood rat theme, you know.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
Just I don't know. But I'm just trying to. I think it's been a really, like, I haven't done it for very long, and but it's been a crazy experience, like learning, like being able to like talk like long form conversations, and then hear yourself talk, and like I feel like I've really I've changed my views. I've kind of like softened my views in certain senses, and I've become like way like more firm in other stances. So I don't know. I feel like it's definitely been like a quick evolution process since starting the video.
But I think that's a true journey to truth, because I've changed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And there's stuff I still stand strong in since I started like 9 years ago.
Yeah.
But if you're really on the search for truth, you're gonna be flexible. Not too flexible, right? Because you're not gonna just believe everything, but you're gonna have to be open and be open to change it. Because if you're really searching for truth, then you have to realize that truth means that maybe you don't have the whole truth all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. An example, like you were on a recent podcast we did with Stranger, and with the whole Epstein thing, I brought up the Jew. I brought up the Jew subject.
Oh shit! You gotta get off now. They're coming after us.
I said.
Oh my god! They're breaking down the door. No, I'm just kidding.
I said the J word, and I wasn't trying to be hateful, and I wasn't like trying to be like. But what I realize is, it's not like I think I'm like off base, and because I think there are Jewish people who run these like big media companies, and like there are like, but like that's beside the point.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not like, I haven't done enough research. I'm not in a liberty to like make like. It's just not worth addressing right now. But what is interesting to me about that is that how taboo it is. It's like sorry, go on. Yeah,
I think that's a frustrating thing now. Once you're on the journey for truth, when you find you kind of run, you're going down a rabbit hole, you're running into something, and then you find out you can't talk about it, then you're like, why can't I talk about this?
Yeah,
why
that was
what are you trying to hide? Because
exactly.
when something is being concealed, you're not trying to, like, somebody's trying to hide something, right? That's somebody that's a liar. Like, the truthers hate liars because that's the opposite of what they are. And
yeah.
So why can't you say that there are a lot of Jewish people that are heads in media? It's like saying, like, why can't you say, like, most black people play basketball? Or most basketball,
right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like why can't you say, like?
But it's like, if I start to say that, being in my position, it's like, whoa, you better be careful, man. But if it's like a Jewish person, like talking, talking up their other Jews, like they've written big articles, like about it. You can go through it, like bragging about how they run.
I saw that. Yeah.
And so,
why can't you just mention it? Because I know Gary Oldman, like, Gary Oldman.
No.
Oh, okay. So, he's an actor. If you've seen Batman, he played the commissioner, but he's known for, that's the most true role that he did. But he did, like, Dracula, of the Bram Stoker's of Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah.
Dracula. He's a very intense actor, really, really good. One of my favorite actors. And he made a comment about, like, Jews running Hollywood, and then he had to fucking apologize, and I'm like, my Jewish friends know that that's true. I was like, damn, when Dracula has to apologize, there's some shit going down. Like, there's something up when Dracula has to say that he's sorry. That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why can't you say that? You can say that a lot of nail places are owned by Vietnamese people. You know what I mean? Like, why can't you say, like, what are they trying to hide, right? But by that too, I don't think that just because you're a Jewish person, you'll get a pass because you're Jewish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of people that are truthers that are Jewish, but I think that, I mean, I don't want to get into it now because it's going to take us longer. But I think that there is something with Zionism and Nazism where there are collaborating together, or they have collaborated together, and then, like, there's something there that they don't want people to see, and they know if people start digging and asking questions. There was this guy.
I think you're onto something there. Yeah.
I want to see what's his face. If you can find that clip on Donahue, and he's actually Jewish, and he was pointing out. He was pointing out, like, inconsistencies in the history of, like, the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And he went to Auschwitz, and he was actually, like, a researcher. And in some parts in like Europe and stuff, you can't, like, publicly even historically research the Holocaust. That's crazy, right? Like, because when I first found that out, I was like, no, that's not true.
That's
like, Israel,
crazy,
you can't do that. Like, certain, I was just like, but then people were researching, and they find out they were stupid that said that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then I even watched the Ahmadinejad. He was the president of, I think, Iran before. I don't know if it was a president before, two presidents before. I don't know who the current president is now. But they were saying that he was a Holocaust denier. And I was like, oh, that's fucked up. Like, why would he say the Holocaust didn't happen? So I actually watched the actual interview. God forbid, people watch the interview before they make assumptions.
Right.
And I'm like, he never said that. He was basically talking about the same stuff that we're talking about now. He was just like, why can't you question this? Why can't you do this? What's being hidden? What are we not being told? And that's creepy. Oh, anyway, I want to attention. So that guy who was Jewish, who was questioning inconsistencies that we're told about the Holocaust, he actually went missing and hasn't been found since.
Yeah.
And he was on. I remember he was on Donahue talking. Donahue's, Donahue.
No.
Donahue's a talk show host before Oprah.
Right.
Oprah came on after him. So, but he's a journalist, and a really pretty solid journalist. People actually did research in journalism. He actually has some good people on his show. He has some really good. If you can dig up some of his shows, you'll be like, yeah. Yeah. So.
But yeah, I think it would do good in the world to make to make this subject and a lot of other subjects less taboo to talk about, because I think it does do a disservice. Like, if if we're not allowed to talk about like black people in gangs doing violence.
Yeah,
if it's like taboo to talk about that,
how are you going to solve the problem?
That does a disservice to good black people everywhere, because then it's like everyone like kind of knows this is going on, but like it just creates confusion and chaos.
But I also think that we're just socially programmed to so identify with our race and our cultural backgrounds that when people don't want to be pegged as a bad guy. So even if you're a good Jewish person and you're not doing bad stuff, but you find out like the families are Jewish or that are doing some of the bad stuff or whatever, we kind of subconsciously, black people too, we kind of subconsciously identify with that. And when it's like when they're being attacked, I'm being attacked. That's not true, but we don't separate ourselves from that. And I think that has a lot to do with like social programming and social engineering for race. Because even though we look different, I believe that we're shells, and I think we're much more than our race and our ethnicity and stuff like that. And it's just another way to divide and conquer people. So
divide and conquer. Damn.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yo, okay. That was an awesome video you put out. That divide and conquer.
Oh yeah, thanks.
But the last thing I want to say on this is that look at almost every mainstream Hollywood movie and TV show that comes out. Like that, the head of the household. Like if it's a white head of the household, like they're either depicted as like a dumb, dopey Homer Simpson type character, or like an evil Nazi, like who's like a racist and has like a bunch of skeletons in his closet type character.
But that's the programming now. It didn't used to be like that, but now it just shifts. But if you look at history, it shifts between races. It shifts between what narrative they want to portray.
Right.
You know, and because they know that people, you know, they understand the psychology and the power of the subconscious mind. And it's predictive programming, it's social programming, it's all of these things meant to put, you know, images and stuff in our head to like. Anyway.
See through that wizardry, y'all. Don't fall for their spells.
Yeah, totally. All right, Rat Talk. Anything else you want to say? You want to wrap up? You want to promote anything?
Rat Talk. Yeah, I want to start doing like consistent. Like I'm following your footsteps. So
I'm following your footsteps, but I gotta get jujitsu.
Follow me on Instagram, Skold Blooded, and that's it. Just stay woke, y'all. Stay open-minded.
Okay, and I'm gonna put your links in the section, the comment section. Anyway, y'all, follow your channel, Skold Blooded. No, your channel's Rat Talk. Rat Talk on YouTube.
Yeah, it's Skold Blooded on YouTube too. Just follow Skold Blooded.
Do you want? I'll just put whatever you want in the links,
yeah.
Okay. And all right, guys. I guess that's it. Peace and love, guys. Bye bye.
Peace.
Peace. Stop it.